Hey there, my name is Ben Ellison, and I'm the youth pastor at Barrett Community Church. And I just want to real quick talk to us today about Ephesians and Paul, and I want to issue a challenge to our youth group, to our church, and even you individually. But Paul, he's a really interesting character in the New Testament. He's interesting because he knew a lot about who God was before he got converted to Christianity. He had a lot of knowledge, but he didn't have the intimate relationship. But he has his conversion. He goes and gives the rest of his life to Christ for the mission of Christ. And through that, he forms an intimate relationship with who God is. And I believe we all want this intimate relationship with God, to know him more on this deeper level. And I really believe that when we discover who God is, we discover who we are. When we discover more about who Christ is, he reveals to us who we really are. Because Paul says in one of his letters that compared to knowing Christ, everything else is trash. I love that phrasing. Everything else is garbage compared to knowing Christ. And that word knowing in the Greek is gnosko. Gnosko means not just knowing as I know a friend, I know their name, knowing as in an intimate, deep relationship. Intimacy through experience. And so my hope for us is as we dig into Ephesians real quick, that we have a new experience with Christ. That we get to know him on a more intimate and deep and personal level. And like I said, when we discover who God is, we discover who we are. As I long to know who Christ is more, he reveals to me who I am. And here's what I mean by this. I want to take us to Ephesians chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. And this is what it says. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who has blessed us in Christ with every spiritual blessing in the heavenly places, even as he chose us in him before the foundations of the world. So how does this apply to as I get to know who Christ is more, that he reveals to me who I am? As we focus on Christ here in this passage, he reveals to us that he chose us. As I pursue Christ, I see that I am chosen before the foundations of the world. And that's what I love about Ephesians. It tells us so much about who Christ is, who we are, and how to live our lives in a way that's pleasing and honoring to Christ. And I want to issue a challenge for us to read together Ephesians throughout the month of April. Starting today, Wednesday, April 4th, I want us to start with chapter 1 and each day read through a different chapter of Ephesians. Now, Ephesians is short. There's only 6 chapters in it. And each chapter by itself is short as well. So it's an easy read. But each chapter is so rich and so full of who God is, who we are, and how we should live our lives for Christ. So in doing so, every day of the week, I want you to read one chapter, excluding Sundays. So that means every week you will read through the whole book of Ephesians. And the next week you'll start over. In doing so, through the month of April, we will read through Ephesians about 3 times. And I truly believe that each week when you read over a chapter again, God will show you something new. He'll inspire you in a new way, even when you read the same words. It's awesome how it works. So I just want to challenge you to do that. In our youth group, we're going to find accountability partners to read with and discuss and talk about what God is showing us. And I want to challenge you, wherever you're at in your walk with Christ or your walk of life, find someone who you can debrief this with, read with, and have accountability with through this time. I believe this can really transform the way that we know who God is. It will transform the way that we see ourselves and who Christ has made us to be. And I believe it will transform the way that we live our lives. Thanks for watching this video. Love you guys, and God bless.